Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody. Hello everybody, and welcome back to what is another live stream. Can I just take this opportunity to say thank you very much for supporting the channel as you have been. Thank you very much for watching all the videos and liking the videos when you actually like them. I mean, that is fantastic what we are seeing there. So basically what we've got coming up today is part 2 of this live stream series. Part 1 of Classic Watch 2023 is in the previous live stream section of the playlists on the channel for your future prosperity, should you wish to watch it at some point. But for now, what we're going to do is we are going to crack on with part 2. The website classicwatch2023.great/site.net is where the vast majority of these horses were contained. In part 1, we took a look at some of the less exposed and the ones that fell short of ending up on the site. But there's still some very nice horses to move forward with, heading in to their 4-year-old campaign. And unfortunately, the 3-year-old hurdler, Nadawi, that we also identified in part 1, could only finish 5th on his hurdle debut over the Christmas and New Year period at Leopardstown. Well, what we're going to do to start off with is I'm going to take a look at a few horses that unfortunately came to hand a little bit too late, or they just couldn't quite get their races timed right in with the pattern sections. But I do feel that some of these, if not all of them, could offer people something moving forward, aged 4 years old. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the horses that made it onto this final website through their just being entered in classics rather than their form entitling them to at the time. Then we're going to take a look at horses that managed to win trials in 2023 to secure their places on the site. And then we're going to take a look at the top 15 that I decided were my 15 best chances. And they were done around the early weeks of January 2023, just to see how many of those 15 managed to win classics. Right, the first horse we're going to take a look at is a trial winner that actually didn't win again and never ran in a classic. So a video was never made. And he has since been sold to Denmark. Drumroll is the name of the horse, sired by Deep Impact out of Maybe. This horse is actually a relative to Saxon Warrior. It managed to win the Group 3 Gallinule Stakes this year. Its best mark was running to 110, when only 7th in the 2023 Hampton Court Stakes. Wasn't seen after that, and he since finished 4th in a listed race in Scandinavia and is now trained by Fleming Velin. The Prairie is another one. This one still currently with Aidan O'Brien, according to the Racing Post, sired by Galileo out of a dam called Again. Even more strange for the Prairie, he wasn't seen since he won in April 2023. He won a maiden and went into a mark of 95 by 2 lengths. And then he wasn't seen ever again in the trials, running to a mark of only 95 This horse has only had 2 runs. No video's been made on the horse yet. So it won't be now. It's Classic 2023 is finished. But this is another one that was in the process, which I do feel could offer somebody something. Age 4, looking at the profile of it. Bertinelli was actually the 3-year-old version of City of Troy by Justify out of Together Forever. Bertinelli was a horse that they never raced in Patent Company. He managed to win quite a valuable £52,000 handicap at Newbury. And then he was 3rd behind Desert Hero in another valuable handicap at Royal Ascot, the King George V Stakes, when he ran to his career best mark of 113. This horse has never been seen in Patent Company and has never been out of the first 3. Full brother to City of Troy, entering a 4-year-old campaign. The next one was Torito, unfortunately gelded now, trained by John and Thady Gosden, side by Kingman, out of a dam called Mantari. It's another nice horse. I was adamant that this was a very nice horse as well. Finished 4th in the Group 3 at Royal Ascot behind Waipiru, the Hampton Court Stakes. But according to the Racing Post, the best mark it ran to was 108 when it won a £39,000 handicap on Derby Day, the Leicester Piggott handicap at Epsom. Looked a very good horse that day, I must admit. Since gelded, I know the horse has been out the first 3 once in 5 starts and has only raced once at pattern level. This, to me, could be another one that could have a bit more to come. At 4, the next one is Waltham, trained in Ireland by Jare Lions, owned by Judmont, sired by Roaring Lion out of Ruscombe. Waltham again. He ran in a listed race on his 3rd start in August and could only finish 5th. But his form out of Patent Company when he won his first 2 starts by 9 lengths, run into what was a best career mark at the moment of 109. I feel that this Roaring Lion colt, there could be more to come from this one as well. A horse that has won 2 out of his 3 starts, but was beaten when only 5th in his only try at listed level, when an odds-on favourite. The next ones now, I think, are a little bit more risky. Sierra Blanca, another an extra Coolmore pedigree really with Martin Mead. This one is actually out of one of their Oaks heroines, Alexandrova, and sired by No Nay Never. It got off the mark in its last start for Coolmore at 2, where it ran to a mark of 92, but its best form was 99 when 2nd in the Group 3 Killervullen Stakes, behind another one of ours, Cairo. Freddie and Martin Mead then got hold of it, and it ran in one listed race at Goodwood in September, the Foundation Stakes, where it was last, beaten by 17 lengths, odds of 50 to 1. I mean, did they buy the horse as a broodmare prospect or what? Yeah, it was a colt, sorry. I always thought this was a filly. This colt, obviously, Manton Park Racing, have got it all to do with this horse at 4. But again, it's only been out the first 3, 4 and 6 starts. And as an Oaks winning mother, who won more than one Oaks, Alexandrova, interesting. But obviously, one with a lot to do. The next one, Dancing Goddess, a Godolphin filly, at the time was trained by Charlie Appleby. When I was looking at it, it won first time out, went into a mark of 85 last November. And then slowly but surely, it faded away in its first 2 starts for Charlie Appleby, finishing 2nd in a £13,000 race and then 5th in a £21,000 novice stakes, both for Godolphin. And evidence of Charlie Appleby's awful form last season. The horse was then switched to Henry Olix Pantal for the second part of 2023. And to be fair, the French maestro did manage to win a listed race with it who won the Prix Casimir Delamere, where the horse ran to a mark of 106. It also managed to win a conditions race in France as well, but then was 7th when it stepped up to a Group 3 level. I mean, this one probably is a bit more exposed than all the others. It'll be interesting to see if it makes any sort of a comeback at Maidan. The horse has been in the first 2 in 4 of his 7 starts and is a listed winner, but again, probably a bit more exposed than I would like. Knight to King, trained by Dermot Weld, side by Kingman out of Night Time. This is from the family of Gaiath. This horse, I think, has been very highly tried, if people see it, when it's maiden by 7.5 lengths, running to a mark of 105 in June, around Guinea's time. I was thinking, is this some middle distance prospect, this, hopefully. They upped it up to 10 furlongs in July and ran it in the Group 2 Prix Eugene Adam at France, where it was only 4th out of 5 behind Horizon Door. And then it was slightly dropped on its first start in Irish Pattern Company, Group 3 Company in August when it ran in the Royal Whip Stakes. And it again could only finish 4th behind Lafayette. This colt's only had 3 starts and it has ran to 105 in 2 of them. I mean, I would be hoping, considering what Gaiath did as an older horse, I would be hoping that there would be more to come from this horse, without any shadow of a doubt. You know, it's a very good, a very nice pedigree. I think the dam won the Guineas, Night Time, she might have done. But yeah, this is Knight to King, another one at 4, which I'm hoping for things to come for again, hopefully. Goolagong, another Aidan O'Brien trained horse, side by Australia, out of Muwakaba. This one is actually related to a horse that KM Pepper, that's the horse, who was placed in a couple of Group 1s. For me, it fell a bit short though in the end, KM Pepper. This horse is actually a full brother to this. Goolagong, another one that had a bit of a break when it's maiden in March 2023 by 2.25 lengths. And then it went in at Cork in a Group 2, 2023, Cover Cup. Finished only 7th of 9 behind Classic Watch 2022 horse, Emily Dickinson. And then it ran in August 2023 when it was 3rd in the Ballyroan Stakes, beaten 17 lengths by Vauban. This is a horse really with it all to prove, heading in to its 4-year-old campaign, never raced above 100. I mean, this you'd have to say is another one that will probably be a little bit riskier than some of the others we've looked at in this section of the video. It is a nice horse, Goolagong. KM Pepper, who I also followed, that did achieve a bit more than this, but hard to say. It's had its 2 chances in pattern level, hasn't it? At 4, it's not going to get many chances by me, I don't think. The last horse of this session is Perfuse, trained by Freemason Sir Michael Stout and owned by Juddmont, sired by Lope de Vega, out of a dam called Suffused. This one again, very disappointing horse really. This man, the so-called trainer of older horses though, could be the man to bring the horse back, this Freemason. It ran quite well early on. It won 3 of its first 4 starts outside of Pattern Company. Looked an interesting horse when it won at Doncaster in June, running to a mark of 101. Since then, rather like the other horse that we looked at, Bertinelli, it's been obscured from Pattern Company. It ran 5th behind Desert Hero. I think Bertinelli was 3rd in that race. Ran into a mark of 98 at Royal Ascot, and then it went to Glorious Goodwood in a similar handicap and could only finish 11th out of 15 when a 2-1 favourite. So it could be argued that this man who's got somehow the controlled outlets have got this horse. This man, as a trainer of older or improving horses, the horse has never, apart from its start, has never gone off at a decent price. You know, these people meant to be good at keeping secrets. People seem to think everybody seems to know that this horse has got potential, judging by the price it's going off. And it seems to be getting worse in the second part of its 3-year-old campaign, the longer the Freemason trained it last season. Interesting horse to me, though, Perfused, heading into its 4-year-old campaign. But another one that's in dodgy hands. You can't really predict what they're going to do with it. All you can do is just sort of hope that the horse is allowed to run to its merits on a consistent basis. But with those people involved, these known Freemasons, Sir Michael Stout, there's so many more hiding in horse racing. This is one that is actually out in the open with his masonry. So his horses just cannot be trusted unless you're in on the handshakes. So, but it is a nice horse, nonetheless, Perfused, without any shadow of a doubt. Right, the next ones on Classic Watch 2023 in the sections are the ones that we'd made videos about them, but the form had somehow fallen short of them, I thought, at the time. But Connections tried to run them in classics anyway. The website, before people remember, is classicwatch2023.great/site.net. There you will find the Roll of Honour, and you will find all the videos as well for the 4 theatres that we looked at last season: Ireland, the UK, France, and the USA. The first horse in that section was Velimi, out in France, trained by Jean-Claude Rouget. This one was entered in the French Guineas on the back of a win in a £15,000 long shot conditions race, when albeit it did run to quite well to 104. To be fair, in the Guineas, it never disgraced itself, really. It was 5th of 9, running to a career best mark of 111. But since then, it's slipped back down the grades, and he hasn't managed to get his head in front. Finishing 8th of 9 in a Group 3, the Prix Paul de Moussac, and in a listed race, the Prix Moonlight Cloud, he can only finish 5th, behind Mill Stream. I mean, this horse, I think, is risky. It was thrown in at the deep end in the Classic, ran with credit, but then in 2 pattern races has proven really that it might not be up to it. I think this is a risky one. The next one did us proud out in France, Kalina. You see that I was a lot more reluctant to put a French horse on this year. And Kalina turned out to be the winner of the Prix Forêt, Grade 1 winner. Kalina looked good at 2, winning her first 2 starts, but then flopping when 12th behind Blue Rose Sen in the Prix Marcel Boussac. She was 4th in the French 1,000 Guineas, running to a mark of 105, running well, it's fair to say, after finishing 2nd in her first start. She then managed to win a Group 2, beating Sauterne by 2 lengths, winning the Prix de Sandringham, running to a mark of 111. A couple of average runs then in the Prix Rothschild and the Prix de Moulin in the miles, before being dropped back to 7 furlongs on Arc Day in October to win the 7 furlong Prix de la Forêt and run into a career best mark when doing so far of 117. She then finished 9th in a race in Hong Kong. Oh no, sorry, in America, I think that is. I can't remember now where that was. Oh yeah, the Breeders' Cup Mile, of course. She was 9th out of 13 behind Master with the Seas in the Breeders' Cup Mile, went into a mark of 111 again. It's hard to call this horse a failure, isn't it? Winning 4 of its 10 starts and winning a Group 1. But it never won a Classic. It fell just short again, 4th. So next season, if it's kept in training, it is fairly exposed, isn't she? It'll be interesting to see how she goes. The next one was a near miss as well, Cairo. Aidan O'Brien, trained by Aidan O'Brien, sired by Quality Road out of a dam called Cuff. In Cairo, again, up 2, managed to win the Group 3 Killervallen, running to a mark of 108. He then managed to win a listed race in early 2023, the Pattern Stakes at Dundalk, despite running to below a mark of 100, and then flopped at Maidan in the Group 2 UAE Derby, finishing 10th of 13, behind Derma Satagake. He then really came from nowhere, I thought, after a 63-day break, to finish second behind Paddington in the Irish Guineas, running to a career best mark of 115. He was then given another 148-day break, bouncing back with a third in a listed race in the Breeders' Cup in the Knockara Stakes, at Leopardstown, before finishing 10th of 14 behind Golden 60 recently in the Hong Kong Mile, running to a mark of 110. In doing so, his best so far of 115. Heading into 2024, where are we with this horse? The horse has won a third of its starts, finished in the first two in 2/3 of his 9 starts, and is classic placed. I mean, why would people not give this horse an opportunity to improve at 1 or 2 starts to see where they stand with it? This is the one that will they up it up in trip? Will they? Is it? We looked at one the other day, Never Ending Story. It could be like an Ormond/Huxley Stakes horse, maybe for them with these older horses at the start of the season. These sort of races. Is this another one, or will this one be kept to a mile? Be interesting to see how the horse goes. The next one, you have to say, definitely fell short. This one is a relative of Churchill, Dower House, side by Galileo out of Meow. The horse was given 11 starts and never ran above a mark of 100. The writing was on the wall at 2, really. The best it can manage was 5th in a Group 3 in the Well Park Stakes, is that? Yes. And at 3, the horse never won a race. It was tried in all sorts of pattern races. The best it could manage was a listed place 3rd, running to what was its best mark of 95. It was placed in the Victor McCalmont Memorial Stakes, listed place 3rd. They ran it in the Coronation Stakes. They ran it in the Irish Guineas. Went off a 100 to 1 shot in Classics. And in its last 2 starts at Group 3 level, failed to beat one horse. And very disappointing horse. Dower House, relative of Churchill. But I'm sure she will be one that will be given a chance for a second career to excel as a broodmare. Jackie O. You have to say that she did well in the end. Jackie O, a filly, side by Galileo, out of Jacqueline Quest. Jackie O wasn't seen on the racetrack at 2, and she managed to win first time out. She then was second. She was then never raced. Oh, yes, she did. She then only raced once outside of Pack & Company, which was in the Sandringham Handicap, when she was 20th behind Coppice, when sent off a 6 to 1 joint favourite. She was actually 5th in the Irish 1,000 Guineas behind Tahira when she ran to a mark of 100. But she then decided to take her form up a level on her last 4 starts, it's fair to say. Proving a very consistent filly, being placed in 3 Group 1 races, placed in 2 Group 1 races, a Group 2 race, and winning a Group 3. She won the Group 3 Rathbride Stakes by 3 lengths, running to a mark of 111. She was then second behind Lumiere Rock at the Curragh at Group 2 level. And then her last 2 starts at Group 1 level were very good. She was placed in the Prix de l'Opera, where she ran to her career best mark of 115. And then she was also 3rd in the Champion Fillies and Mare Stakes at Ascot, behind Poptronic, when she ran to a mark of 114. This is a filly probably that I think they will probably retire. I don't know. It's hard to say, but hopefully they might bring her back and try and get that elusive Group 1 victory. She reminds me a bit of Magic Wand if people look at her form at this stage. Magic Wand went on a big crusade to try and win that elusive Group 1, didn't she? Before finally doing it, I think, in Australia. But be interesting to see how they campaign Jackie O next season, if at all. Well-bred filly. The next one was Tarawa, trained by Dermot Weld, owned by the Aga Khan, side by Shamadal, out of Ternura. I think this one has to go down as an ultimately disappointing horse, really. I was quite impressed with it when it was a 2-year-old maiden on its second start. But since then, this year, it has raced in Pack & Company on every start and the horse has failed to win. Again, it's unlucky not to be a classic place. Look, fourth behind Tahira in the Irish Thousand Guineas. It was also placed at Group 3 level. It was also placed at Group 2 level. And it was also placed in 3 listed races. But ultimately, I think the horse has to go down as being quite a frustrating horse because the horse has only won one out of its 9 starts. Finishing in the first 3, 6 of his 9 starts. Best mark was running to a mark of 107, which she did a few times. You'll see, though, that the prices she's going off at, apart from a couple of times, she's finishing placed in 2/3 of her races. Is this one that they're going to keep in training at 4 and try and secure a pattern race victory with Tarawa? She's had plenty of pattern race place efforts. I suppose people have to say that this is an interesting filly, and it will be interesting to see how she progresses, I think, next season. Adelaide River, 3-year-old colt, trained by Aidan O'Brien, side by Australia, out of a dam called Could It Be Love? Again, and ultimately a very frustrating colt, in my opinion. There were signs of it at Tulip, where it was placed at Group 3, Group 2 and Group 1 level last season, never winning a pattern race. There was more of the same last season, really, before finally, on its last start of the season, it paid people 11-8 favourite when it won the Paddy Burton race sponsored by a bookie, a Group 3 race. If there was a horse worthy of winning a race sponsored by a bookie, then it is this horse. Again, look at that, frustrating horse. Finished second 5 times. Finished second in the Grand Prix de Paris. Finished second in the Irish Derby behind Auguste Rodin. Finished 8th in the English Derby. And then finished second in the Chester Bars. 6 placed efforts in group company and only a Group 3 win over another arguable horse, Al-Azi, to show for his form, a best mark of 115. I mean, you've heard me mention races like the Huxley and the Ormond for horses before from this yard. They do like to win them. This is certainly one that if they keep it in training, you would think that it would be aimed at these sort of races, Tatzel's Gold Cup early on in the year, if it's good enough. But such a frustrating animal. You know, it was 33-1 when it was second in the Irish Derby. That was nice. But absolutely frustrating horse, in my opinion. Left C is another one in France. Wertheimer a Frere owned horse by Frankel. This horse, again, I think you have to say that it's fallen short ultimately. Won nicely first time out, but was then another one that was last behind Blue Rose Sen in September of 2022 at 2. At 3, it's had 6 runs. The horse has won 2 of them, including it won a listed race in June. It won the listed Prix Melisande when it ran to a mark of 104. Every time they've stepped the horse up a level, in my opinion, the horse has fallen a little bit short. It was 8th behind Jana Rose in the Prix Saint-Hilary. And then it was 12th when they stepped it up in the French Oaks. The Prix de Diane, after it won the Melisande at Longchamp, it was then 12th. 2 solid enough runs at Group 3 level after that. 2nd in the Group 3 Prix de Syke and 4th in the Group 3 Prix Bertrand de Tarragon. There's not much value there, though. The horse went to a best mark of 107 in the last race, the Tarragon. It's finished in the first 2 in 4 of its 8 starts. And again, to me, it's frustrating. Been a frustrating horse. Will they keep her in training at 4? I don't know. You know, she's won a listed race, hasn't she? And she's secured Group 3 place. Is this how good she is? Time will tell what they decide to do. Be Happy is another one. Coolmore horse, side by Camelot, out of Frequential. This one is a tricky one to weigh up, I think, even at this stage, because it is very lightly raced. They've entered it in races where I think they think quite a lot of it. One first time out, and then they upped it up to Group 3 start, and its last start of 2022, when it was only fifth behind Lumiere Rock, running to less than what it's running and made. This is a horse with average form. Yeah, it is without a doubt. But they tried it in a Group 3 race at St. Cloud in France. It was one of the first out in the Pre-Pen and Ope when it was only third. And then they tried it again in the listed Lingfield Oaks trial, where the horse was placed again second behind Eternal Hope. And then they gave it a 70-day break. And they ran it in the Irish Oaks then. The horse was well beaten, 6 out of 8, behind Save the Last Dance. But it did run to her highest mark of 101. I mean, this horse could easily be another Dower House, couldn't it? It could easily have had another 6 runs and lost. But they seem to have looked after this one a bit more. It seems to have had less runs. So I do think there might be hope left in this one, that it could be better than the form she has shown so far. But again, the horse has never won a pattern race, Group 3 and listed placed. At the moment, it's falling short on form, in my opinion. The last horse of this section that we're going to take a look at is Denmark. Another horse that proved to be frustrating overall in the end. Another one sired by an average stallion, it's fair to say, Camelot. Out of a damn called board meeting. Denmark was another one. Won very well first time out. And then was sent to a sales race, unfortunately, for his last start of 2022, where it was unlucky not to win, really. Went into a mark of 100 in the sales race. It was then well beaten behind White Birch in one of the first Irish Classic trials of the year, the Ballysack Stakes. And then that was enough for it in Pattern Company. Since then, the horse has only been seen in handicaps and apart from its St Ledger run. It ran quite well at York in 2023 in the Melrose Handicap, finishing second behind Middle Earth. And it was third in a similar race at Haydock, sponsored by a bookie, where it ran to its career best mark of 111. It then ran behind Continuous in the final UK Classic of the season, where it was a well-beaten 8th of 9th, and it played mainly a pacemaking role. On that day, it's fair to say. I mean, this is a horse, really, that has only beaten 2 horses home in Pattern Company, really, and it's probably the riskiest one out of this section, it's fair to say. Didn't look straightforward on a couple of occasions when it raced on the flat. It's what I thought. I still think they might. Why don't they try it over hurdles? This is one that I was hoping would go for the triumph hurdle. But it hasn't. There's any of these lovely hurdlers on here. This part of the video is a lovely hurdler section as well. But none of them seem to even be looking at that route yet. This is one that Denmark is risky, I think, without any shadow of a doubt. Right, classicwatch2023.great/site.net is where people can find these horses. And we're going to move on to the next section now, which are horses that prove good enough to win classics and earn their place on the site, Classic Watch 2023, on merit. And then we're going to look at the final 15 selections. These horses here did well to win trials, and there's some nice horses in this section. Never Ending Story is one that's interesting, sired by Dubawi out of Athena. Don't get many Dubawi horses representing Coolmore. Again, I have to say, this has been an absolutely frustrating horse to follow. This one. Absolutely frustrating horse. It won its maiden quite well, beating Sandy Creek on its second start. And since then, the horse has proved itself to be competent at Group 3 level at 2. It finished dual Group 1 placed and Group 2 placed at 2, Group 3 winner. And at 3, the horse just hasn't improved as much as I would have liked. You see it just above 100 at 2.99. And the best it's ran to at 3 was actually first time out, a mark of 111, when it secured its second Group 3 win in the Priory Bell 1,000 Guineas Trial Stakes. It was then that I was thinking, on you go. This is it. Since then, the horse has run in 5 Group 1s in succession. Finished 5th at Longchamp in the French Guineas, 2nd classic placed, in the French Oaks, where it finished 4 lengths behind Blue Rose Sen. Then went to the Coa for the Pretty Polly Stakes, finished 7th. The form sailed off spectacularly if people look. It beat 2 home there. It was last in 2 Group 1s then, where it just proved it wasn't good enough, but they still kept running it in these races. And then it beat 3 home on its last start at the Coa when dropped to Group 2 level for the Blandford Stakes. Very frustrating filly, winner of 3 of her 13 starts, dual Group 3 winner. But to me, this is a horse that really should have won a lot more than this, and will ultimately, I think, prove to be, oh, hang on, there's somebody at the door, everybody. There's somebody at the door. What have we got live here? We've got, what was that show where they used to say that on? Sorry, everybody, I'm going to have to mute the microphone a bit. It was a bag, what bags? What was she in? There's somebody at the door. So there is as well. So I'm going to have to turn this microphone down, put the intro stream back up, and I will be with you shortly. Apologies. This had best be important. Hello, everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello, everybody. This is Paul. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Sorry about that. All right, we just finished taking a look at Never Ending Story, haven't we? Yes, we have. The next one, Ponce du Jour, a horse that started the season owned by the Dayton Investments, Ballymore, and ended the season with Wertheimer Effrair, another one sired by what I am certain, adamant really, as adamant as I can be, is a very average sire, Camelot. He's had some excellent blue dam lines, and just none of them really have come up to scratch. Ponce du Jour was one that I was hoping could be an Oaks filly. Won its first 2 starts lovely, including a listed race by 7 lengths at St. Cloud, the Prix-Rose de Mai. It then came out and won the Group 3 Prix-Penelope. Be happy that day. That ran to its 105. 13th out of 15 it was in Prix de Diane. Very disappointing. And then the horse changed owners for its last 2 runs and managed to only beat 1 horse home in each of her last 2 starts. 4th and 5th at Group 2 level, 7th of 8 at Group 1 level. But what else could they have done with the horse winning at Group 3 and a listed race? Ultimately, I think people have to say the horse fell short. Ponce du Jour went into her best mark of 113 when finishing 7th out of 8, is sort of saying that her mark could be a bit flattered with her run in the Prix Vermeil, considering her mark of 105 when winning a Group 3. But it's still a lightly raced. The horse has won half of her starts, but I expected so much better than this horse from the family of Persian King. I actually identified her, you see, there when she won in April Fool. I was. And since then, she's been awful. That's the luck of the rub of the green with these animals. The next one, Indestructible, the Kodiak sired Indestructible, out of a dam called Sharava. I mean, this was one that had shown good form at 2, and I think you'd have to argue it's done quite well. Although it does look to have been switched to America recently. You'll see at 2, the horse was Group 2 and Group 3 placed in Ireland, running to a mark of 109. And it was proven to be beaten by the Guineas winner on both occasions. It was then switched by Ammo Racing. This was 3 trainers in 1 year. It's not just the jockeys they like to change, is it? Ammo Racing, what are they like? It's trained by Michael O'Callaghan, switched to Carl Burke for a 3-year-old campaign. And they look geniuses, because the horse actually did come out and win the Craven Premier Guineas Trial, running to what proved to be its best mark, off 112 on its first start for Carl Burke. It was then 10th behind its old foe, Chaldean again, in the Newmarket Irish, in the UK Guineas. And then the horse proved to really be what he was in his last 3 starts for Carl Burke. 5th in the Group 1 St James's Palace Stakes behind Paddington. He ran quite well, went 4th in the Prix Jean Prat behind Good Guess. And there was then 5th in the Group 2. That must have been the Lennox at Glorious Goodwood. Yes, it was. And you see, they flattened out a bit. And there was last, 9th of 9 in the Group 1 in October 23, the Coolmore Turf Mile. Well, thankfully I missed that race, because I'm sure I would have been a supporter of his that day. 3 trainers in a year. Hardly the basis for success. I think the horse has done well. It's a classic trial winning, and it's earned its place in the trial on the site by winning the historically most important trial in the UK, which this year proved to be quite an average renewal, looking at the way things panned out for the horse. The same could be said of the next one, Remarquee, another horse who has switched ownership through the year, now owned by Wathnan Racing, still trained by Rafe Beckett, side by Kingman. This one actually won the Greenham. Won very well first time out. I know I had one here. Them connections, they know what they're doing. They like to place their fillies to win pattern races. So it was no surprise to me, really, when it won the Greenham at Newbury in April. It was just a matter then of could she go and replicate the repeat in the Guineas? The answer was no. She finished 15th of 20 behind Morge in the UK Guineas. But then I think she proved herself to be a good filly. With 2 Group 1 places, she was placed in the Coronation Stakes. She was also placed in the Falmouth, well beaten in the Falmouth by Nashwa. And then she was 4th behind Masca de Sevilla as well in July in the Prix Rothschild. Running to 112, her career best mark, when 2nd in the Coronation Stakes. This one is finishing the first 2 in 4 of her 6 starts. She was another one that earned her place on merit by winning one of the UK's premier classic trials. And she was subsequently placed in 2 Group 1 races. After it didn't happen for her in the classics, I remember her being dreadfully underestimated in the Coronation Stakes. And this is one I'll probably have to chance at 4 a couple of times. It's an interesting filly, I think, still. Next one, Godolphin Horse, Castle Way. One of the rare Godolphin horses to have actually done itself justice, I think, this year. At 3, trained by Charlie Appleby, sired by Al Manzour. This is the first Al Manzour that I've chanced. And it's fair to say the horse has done well, I think. Winner of 4 of its 7 starts. You'll see that when the other Godolphin horses were failing, so it was a handicap winner at 2, so it had a lot to do But while other Godolphin horses were failing in classic trial this year, this horse was winning. It won the listed Newmarket Stakes in May, then it came back into July at Newmarket and won the Group 3 Bahrain Trophy. And to be fair, the horse didn't really disgrace itself when 3 3/4 lengths behind Continuous in the Great Voltager, where it backed up its run at Newmarket of 113. I mean, this horse probably is what he is. Probably not top class. But he's run well when other Godolphin horses failed. The horse has finished out the first 2 in only one of his 7 starts. And if this is one that turns up at Maidan, I think it could take quite close order. It'd be interesting to see how they campaign this horse moving forward. If they do, they might just sell it. If it ends up in handicaps, then it'd be impossible to recommend. But the horse is a Group 2 place, Group 3 enlisted winner. It's improved from 2 to 3. Look, is it going to improve again from 3 to 4? And one plus I will give this horse again. I will say it again. There's a lot of Godolphin horses fell short this year. This one did okay. The next horse, arguably one of the stars of the season, Paddington. You'll see there is also already retired to stud, where he will stand, I think is a ridiculous $55,000. 55,000 euros, sorry. First season, quite risky as anything. One thing for certain though, the horse, what a fantastic 3-year-old campaign the horse has had. Started off in a handicap in March. You wouldn't have thought it was possible, but it was. The horse went all the way from running there, winning off a mark of 97 in an ace handicap to classic glory. It then won a listed race where it beat Drumroll in the Tetrarch Stakes, and then it came out and beat Cairo by 2 lengths, running to a mark of 120 in the Irish Guineas. It then went about proving itself to be the dominant middle distance miler, beat the UK Guineas winner Chaldean by 3 3/4 lengths in the St James's Palace Stakes, running to 126. And it beat the older horses in the Eclipse, steps up to 1 mile 2 furlongs. The Emily Upjohn running to his best mark of 127 in that day. It was then back to 1 mile to win the Sussex Stakes by 1 3/4 lengths from Factor Cheval, running to a mark of 122. Before the horse was finally beaten by Mostadaf and Big Rock. Mostadaf beat it in the Juddmonte International, and Big Rock beat it in the Kiritu Stakes, running to a mark of 47, where it ended the season tailed off. Sums up a Coolmore horse, really. From handicap winner to classic winner to tailed off. I mean, you can just never really predict what these people are going to do at any time. But the horse was top class for several months, without any shadow of a doubt. They raced it. The horse was always there to race. They ducked nobody with this one, it's fair to say, I think, at the time. And it'll be interesting to see how the horse goes at stud next season. Another one that sneaked on the side, Peking Opera, trained by Aidan O'Brien, side by Galileo out of Bugle. This one has since been gelded after its last run. It was one that beat Bertinelli, the City of Troy brother, at 2. And it won its first start at 3. It won the listed Yates Stakes, which we've had a Guineas winner come out of that before. Galileo Crane, was it? Possibly. The one Mark 1 rode for Joseph O'Brien as a late-minute substitute. Can't remember what the horse was called. It won out of 6, beaten by half a length, and won to a mark of 103. Its last 4 starts after that, I think, showed that the horse was what he was. He was 7th out of 14 behind Gregory in the Queen's Vase. 4th of 9 behind Auguste Rodin, so he was nearly classic placed in the Irish Derby. 7th of 8 in the Grand Prix de Paris behind Feed the Flame. And then he was 3rd of 8, beaten 6 lengths by Vauban in the Ballyroan Stakes, where he ran a pound below what the Racing Post say his best is. of 105. Gelded towards the end of December. This is one really that I think people, this could be another one, Huxley Stakes / Ormond Stakes horse at best, maybe. But again, this is one that I was hoping that gelded it. Is it going to run over hurdles? I mean, I would love to see this one go over hurdles without any shadow of a doubt. Gelded it. Is it with JP? Is it going to come out sporting the yellow and green hoops and make a late Sir Eric like Triumph Hurdle tilt heading into the new year? Be interesting to see what they do with this one. The next one is I would love to see over hurdles as well. But this one was with Andre Fabre last year. Still Coolmore owned. First Minster, side by Galileo out of Naples Bay. This one is from the family of Medaglia d'Oro. And I think if people look at the horse, they will see that this horse, I think, offers prospects on the flat. I was probably a bit harsh with it then when I said that this horse would make a good hurdler. Got off a mark straight away, really, at first start. I think it took a while for them to suss what the trip was. I think this horse is out and out stayer. You know, as they upped it up in trip outside of novice company, they learnt about the horse. And it improved slowly but surely without winning. They then went to the Prix-Hocquart, Group 3 in May, which is always a classic trial for the races of the GP de Paris and the French Derby over a furlong less now. And it won that by a length and a half. You know, I thought it ran quite well that day. It won well. It then went to the Grand Prix de Paris in July, where the horse finished 4th of 8, didn't disgrace himself, running to what the Racing Post think is his career best mark of 109 out in France. I like this horse. It's had a penalty in the last 4 starts, having to carry Bergeron Mirzabayev round. I think he's the Kazakhstan jockey has gone back to Germany now, so I think that might be a bonus for horses such as him. But First Minister, I do think is a nice horse. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he was still running round in Cornwall pattern races in France. But again, I'd love to see this one over hurdles in the Triumph Hurdle without any shadow of a doubt. The next one, Save the Last Dance, turned out to be a good filly, sired by Galileo out of Daddy's Little Darling, a Group 1 winner, I think she was, in America. Save the Last Dance proved to be arguably the best out of a bad bunch 3-year-old fillies this year, looking at the ratings. Didn't win at 2, then come out and won well over Boogie Woogie on her second start in April. She was then sent to Chester and won to only a mark of 116, despite winning the listed Cheshire Oaks by 22 lengths. She then went to the UK Oaks, where she finished second behind Soul Sister, when an odds-on favourite, running £4 less than she did at Chester. Her level of form was rather disappointingly good enough to win this year's renewal of the Irish Oaks, where she was deemed to have ran to 114. And then she was actually placed again in the Yorkshire Oaks, where she lost to her stablemate Warm Hearts. But again, the form is the ratings. These were very average races according to the Racing Post this year. But Save the Last Dance showed the winning attitude on the day in a classic winner. So Save the Last Dance, that's to say, complete and utter success. As is the next one, Soul Sister, sired by Frankel, out of Dream Piece. We actually chanced the one older than this, on Classic Watch 2022. Exact same family racing in France called Dream Flight, that I think is going around in Australia now. So it was good to see the next year's incarnation do the business for us. Like I said, it won the Epsom Oaks, where it ran at 215. And since then, the horse was only seen once, where she went for the Grand Prix de Paris against the Colts, finishing 3rd of 8, running to a mark of 112. Very lightly raced filly, winning 3 of her 5 starts. Career best mark of 115. Started her career with a 3-year-old career with a defeat last by Remarquis in the Greenham. Came back and won the Group 3 Musidora. Musidora, classic winner. The path that we love to see. And the horse has done the job. Soul Sister, whether they keep her in training next season, another question altogether. The next horse, another Godolphin horse, Military Order, subsequently gelded son of Frankel. This one is related to a horse that actually won the Derby, so once it came out and won the listed Derby trial at Lingfield over subsequent Group 3 Royal Ascot winner Waipiru, running to a mark of 114, it had to be chanced really. It also won a valuable novice race in April, running to a mark of 112. It then absolutely bombed in the English Derby. Last of all, the last two starts, since it won the Lingfield Derby trial, the horse has been last in both starts, included when it was in the Chester Stakes, when it was 5th of 5 behind Shanroe in a listed race. I mean, the form of this horse has dropped off spectacularly and is a classic example of just how poor a trainer this man, Charlie Appleby, has been this season, really. Nothing else to be said about the horse. Subsequently gelded. I mean, this is another one that could be looking at races like the Huxley Stakes, Ormond Stakes, Maidan. Has to come into the equation for this horse. But it's one that now it's been gelded. People pay their money and take their chance with, I think. Spreewell was another one that was subsequently disappointing. Jessica Harrington trained Churchill side colt out of a dam called La Halib. Was actually beaten by another one we've looked at today, Sierra Blanca in a maiden at 2. But then it came out and beat Zoe Innocent, which was for fair form. It then came out and won the Group 3 Derby Trial Stakes at Leopardstown. Looked good that day. A convincing 3-length victory, and that was the race that I think Piz Badil won for us the year before. So I was excited about that. I was hoping that this could be one that was going to make its mark. Again, though, since I think the horse has proved what it was. You know, it's 4th of 14 in the UK Derby. Just missed classic place. It was then 6th of 9 behind the same horse of Gus Rodin in the Irish Derby. And then in his last 2 starts, it was last twice. Or Gus Rodin again. In the Irish Champion Stakes, it was last behind Boogie Woogie. Beaten 23 lengths in the listed Kathleen Murphy Memorial Trigo Stakes. The best this horse has run to was 116 when it won the Derby trial. You have to say, subsequently, a disappointing horse, Spreewell. And it's one that probably, again, people would have to pay their money and take their chance with at 4. It would be hard to argue that this horse has improved throughout its 3-year-old campaign without winning, wouldn't it? So I think it would have to go down as a risky one at 4. I think it's fair to say. The next horse did the job fantastically for the sides again, Continuous. It's clear to see from this section that we're not at the top 15 yet. And it's clear to see that we underestimated some of these quite severely. Continuous was an obvious one we did. It went into the season an unbeaten Group 3 winner. And still, for some reason, like an idiot, I didn't include it in the top 15. I mean, I don't know why I would do that. It's done nothing but impress me in every run it's had this year. When it got beat in the Dante, behind the Foxes, who we see was in the top 15. You know, I was impressed with it that day. I thought it travelled well. The only time it ran a bit of an iffy race, really, was when they sent it to France to contest the French Derby when it was 8th out of 11 behind Ace Impact. It ran okay at Royal Ascot again as well in the King Edward VII Stakes Group 2 level where it was second again. So at that stage, it was even a dual Group 2 place Group 3 winner knocking on the door. And then the door was beaten down with another familiar York classic double, which I do like. Lucidora Oaks is one. Voltage of St Ledger is another. And there you have Continuous breaking his great Group 2 duck with a win over Castle Way in the Voltager. And then a 2 3/4 length win over Arrest at Doncaster in the St Ledger. No St Ledger winner has ever won the Arc for a very long time. And I think people have to say the Continuous ran with credit in the Arc, finishing 5th out of 15. And that behind Ace Impact. And that fact is borne out by the fact that he is his highest racing post figure of 122. I mean, this horse to me could make a brilliant 4-year-old if they decide to keep it in training. It's by a Japanese sire. It's a classic winner. It's the sort of horse I hope they drop back down to a mile and a half and go for races like the Coronation Cup. You know, the Arc again, maybe, at the end of the season. Be interesting to see how this horse is campaigned, if at all. I think if they were going to retire it to Studlart Paddington, it'd have its own stallion tab. And I think the plan must be at this stage to race it next season. So that's fantastic to see. Library is a filly, side by Galileo, out of words. Again, I think in a year of frustrating fillies and low ratings, this horse has been arguably unlucky not to win more than what it's won. It's highly tried at 2, listed placed, Group 1 fifth, didn't rate above 100. And then its first run in France, they ran 2 that day, Be Happy and Library, they both ran fairly poorly. Library was then sent to Cork and it ran poorly again in the Munster Oaks, before arguably out of nowhere turning in a good performance at Naas to win her first pattern race in the Naas Oaks trial. She then, rather than was sent straight to the Oaks, was sent to a Group 3 race, the Stanera Stakes, over 1 mile 6, where I don't think she really stayed. 7th out of 11. Before, I think then, she was unlucky not to win on her next 2 starts. She was actually a classic place filly in the end, placed 3rd of 8 behind Save the Last Dance in the Irish Oaks, where again, she was terribly underestimated. And then she was 2nd in the Group 3 race in August, the Give Thanks Stakes, behind Term of Endearment, before beating only 1 home behind Sea Silk Road, when again I thought she might have been underestimated in the Prix de Royaume. But this horse ended up a Group 1 and Group 3 placed listed winner. Classic placed. But I think the thing that go against Library this year went into a best of 109. But I think the thing that goes against her compared to other fillies that we've looked at is the fact that she's had 12 runs compared to some of the others that have only had 5 or 6. So I don't know whether we will see Library next season in racing. One thing's for certain, I do think she will make a good broodmare. That's for certain. The next one started the season as the Queen's horse, ended up the season as the King's horse. Desert Hero. Very good horse. Sired by See the Stars, whose progeny I think are 4-year-old plus. You know, he's not as precocious as Galileo, but a very good sire nonetheless. Sire by See the Stars. This horse, typical late developer. Yeah, 2, it was beaten by Silver Knot, 3rd out of 6. And ended the season really with a penalty kick win in a novice stakes, where the horse could easily have gone backwards. It was then 8th behind Bertinelli in what looked a competitive handicap at Newbury. It then won a competitive Royal Ascot handicap, the King George V Stakes. It normally takes a pattern race to win that, pattern race horse to win that. And that was proved in August 2023 when the horse won the Group 3 Gordon Stakes leisure trial at Glorious Goodwood, definitely earning itself a place in the St Leger, where I think it ran with credit, finishing 3rd of 9 behind the eventual winner, Continuous. The horse has done nothing but improve throughout its 3-year-old campaign. Slow, steady improvement, 94, 107, 113, and then 116. And this one, after winning 4 of his 7 starts, only coming out the first 3 in 6 of his 7. I can't see how, at 4-year-old, this is not going to make a pattern quality, good top quality horse. I mean, this could be a cup horse, could be a middle mile and a half horse, depending on which road they decide to go down. But this one, to me, very interesting horse, it's fair to say. The next one, Gregory, another one that changed ownership halfway through the season to Wathnan Racing, sired by Golden Horn out of a dam called Gretchen. A very well-bred horse this is, and the world looked its oyster in its first 3 starts, when it won on its 2nd start the listed race at Goodwood, the Cocked Hat Stakes, and then it didn't really take much improvement to win the Group 2 Queen's Vase at Royal Ascot when it ran to a mark of 115. It then tried to get on the leisure trail Great Voltager and Doncaster, but Continuous beat it in both starts. Went to a mark of 114 and 113. It was fifth in the St Leger, third in the Voltager. Group 2 enlisted winner. The horse has only had 5 starts. I think this one again. I think this one will be more a cup horse though. Leger, Irish Leger type cup horse. More than a 1.5 mile horse though. I just think it found a good horse that day. Continuous, a good horse. They're all good horses in the Leger. Desert Hero and Continuous. And I think this horse will be definitely worth chancing in cup races next season. It's fair to say. That, in fact, was the last horse in that section. The only section we've got left now is the top 15. We're going to take a look at the top 15 now, which are after their 2-year-old campaigns. These were the horses that I thought would be the best heading forward. How right was I? How many of them proved to be top class classic winners? It will be time to find out after this short break. I'll be back shortly. Thank you for watching and take care. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody. This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon, so please stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Paul Newman. Hello everybody, and welcome back to what I promise is the final part of this video, the top 15 of the season. Like I said, these are the best. These are the ones I had the highest hopes for at the start of the year, about this time last year, a few weeks after. You will see one man really has ruined this, not me. I'm not taking any blame, honestly. Gregory, we've already looked at. Number 15, Mischief Magic. Trained by Charlie Appleby, sired by Exceed and Excel. I mean, this one to me was always I don't understand why they went sprinting with this horse. I mean, if people watch the video I did on the horse, they will see there was more than enough in this horse for me to think that this horse, if they stretched it out, would get a mile. I was even more certain of it when they won the Group 3 race with a good turn of foot, it has to be said, that day. Won the Serenia Stakes at 3. It was a Group 1 winner at 2. Won the juvenile turf sprint where they actually dropped it down in trip. I was still then thinking I was right and they were wrong. And then since then they've tried sprinting the horse. It beat One Home in the Commonwealth Cup trial. It was 8th out of 13 in the Commonwealth Cup. They then gelded the horse, gave it a 103-day break before it won an egg and spoon race in October. And then since then it was been beaten in 2 listed races. This horse has been sighted at Meydan already in the 22nd of December. It's come nowhere near its 2-year-old form, the horse, as a sprinter. I think they've got this all, I think, all the time, coupled with the trainer not being in the best of form and them getting the horse totally wrong. They've dropped the ball on this horse. Can they bring it back? I thought this horse was always a miler. But they didn't, and they were wrong. Mysterious Knight is another one. He was number 14, trained by Charlie Appleby, sired by Dark Angel. Again, people look at this horse at 2. It had done very little wrong. It had won a Group 1, albeit at Woodbine, the Summer Stakes. It had also won a Group 3 at Deauville, the Prix Francois Boutin. It had been beaten in a couple of Group 2s before that. Again, after its first start, it was last in the Craven, so they started with good intentions. As 15-8 favourite, last in the Craven, blamed the horse with a gelding. And since the horse has been gelded, it's arguably not shown any form much better. Second behind Age of Kings in the Group 3 Jersey Stakes at Royal Ascot, where they put a tongue strap on it. First time blinkers that day, August 2023, 7th of 9 in the Racing Hall of Fame Stakes at Saratoga, an American Group 2. And then another one sighted at Meydan in a listed race on the 22nd, where the horse only finished 5th out of 15 behind Va Fortino. I think you have to say this horse, since being gelded, has shown me nothing. I can't recommend this horse. I watched it run last time. It tried its heart out last time out, and it still didn't win. The horse to me has just fallen short. Never raced above 110 in 10 starts. And Charlie Appleby's formed in now. The horse not good enough, I don't think, as well. Number 13. I think I've got these in the right order. It's the Foxes. Oh no, they were level because they're both actually quite closely related. Let me just check. I can't remember where I am now on my own list. It's been so long since the list was formed. I know I had 2 that were very closely related. Oh no, it was further up. Yes, the Foxes, in fact, was number 13, sired by Churchill out of a dam called Tannigan. I mean, I thought this horse was not unlucky to win a classic, but it did win the Dante, didn't it? It won a Group 2 at 2 as well. It won the Royal Lodge at 2. And then it was second in the Craven behind Indestructible. It travelled well that day. And then it came out in 2023 and won the Group 2 Dante. 5th in the Derby it was, the UK Derby. Last of 4 in the Juddmonte International and 2nd of 11 in the Belmont Derby Invitational. So they did get their Group 1 placing with it, albeit they had to go to America to get it. Group 1 placed, dual Group 2 winner. Be interesting to see what they do with this horse at 4. Winner of 5 of its 9 starts. Best mark when 2nd in America and by when winning the Dante was 114. A rare average year for the Dante, I think it's fair to say. Looking at all of this, the next horse, number 12, is another one that you have to say fell short. It has gone to stud though, and why wouldn't it? Roaring Lion only sired 1 crop, and this horse managed to win a Group 1 off it and could arguably have saved the line. The top class family of Miss France and Miss Tahiti. Fantastic to get a son of Roaring Lion at stud. £7,500. Might be a bit high. Time will tell. Look at the form at 2. He beat some St Ledger runner-up Arrest by a head. After finishing 2nd behind the Foxes in the Royal Lodge, 116 was his best mark at 2. You'll see again, despite his form not tailing off totally at 3, it never reached the same heights again. It was 5th. 5th in the Guineas, the 2,000 Guineas behind Chaldean. It was then 9th in the Derby behind Auguste Rodin. Then it was 4th in the King Edward VII Stakes behind King of Steel. Subsequently, Group 1 winner, was it? I'm not sure if it did. But you see there again, 107, 104, 109, 3 solid runs. Never really looked like threatening the judge, it's fair to say, looking at that. And good luck at stud reveal. Could make a lovely national hunt stallion, I think. Stayed 10 furlongs at 2 on heavy ground. Be interesting to see how they get on. That one. Number 12. That was number 11, you have to say, fell short. Midnight Mile. Another one by No Nay Never to fall short of classic glory. That stallion to me is a decidedly average stallion. Midnight Mile. You'll see it too. The horse won the Group 3 Oh So Sharp Stakes. And then it was 4th behind Meditate. A good run in itself in the Breeders' Cup. Filly and Mares Turf. Filly's Turf, sorry. Group 2. 2-year-old race, sorry, Group 1. And you'll see then from 2 to 3. This is unusual for this line. This horse just hasn't improved at all. It could arguably have had to carry a penalty round on every 5 starts. I'm not a massive fan of the jockey, Oisin, or he used to be with Dermot Wild. I've seen him ride a few. And around the Group 3, it was 4th behind Soul Sister in the Musidora. Group 2, it was 13th out of 17 in the Ribblesdale. It then came out and won a listed race at York in July. It won the Lyric Phillies Stakes. And it was 3rd behind Al Azi in the Rose of Lancaster Stakes. Again, it's only a Group 3 unlisted winner. And I think I have to say this horse has been disappointing. I expected a bit better than 107 after a 3-year-old campaign by this filly. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with the filly next season. Another one really, next one, that has to go down as the nail in the coffin of No Nay Never for me. As a classic producing stallion is Meditate. Sired by No Nay Never out of a dam called Pembina. I was so tempted to rate this a lot higher once it had won at the Breeders' Cup. But luckily it managed to just sit around the top 10 mark. Top class 2-year-old, you'll see that. Group 2, it won the Breeders' Cup after finishing 2nd in 2 Group 1 races behind Lazoo and Tahira. It then won the Keeneland run into a mark of 113. And you'll see, again at 3, this horse just has not trained on one bit. No Nay Never, the curse of No Nay Never, strikes again. It was unlucky not to hold on to a classic win though, really. It was 2nd, beaten a length and a quarter in the Irish 1,000 Guineas And what's her best run of the year of 110, sixth in the UK Guineas. Behind Morge, the writing was on the wall then, really. Fourth behind Tahira out of 6 in the Coronation Stakes. Then the horse only beat one home in July in the Prix Jean Prat. Fourth behind Tahira back in September after a couple of months off in the Matron. Then the horse was 5th behind Inspiral in the Sun Chariot Stakes. She was what she was. They were only rated 112, 113, the Oaks winning fillies, weren't they? This was a finished filly who has fallen short at a mile. Meditate. And these no-name nevers are very hard to recommend when it comes to picking classic winners on this evidence. The next one I think we were very unlucky with. The Justify sired Statuette. The horse won 2 of its 2 races at 2. It only needed to run to 104 when it won the Early Stud Stakes of June 2022. But sadly, the horse never raced at 3. But Coolmore on record when she retired saying that she was one that they had very high hopes for. If you believe what they say, and you were following this horse and waiting for it, then you'd have to say you were probably quite unlucky with Statuette this year. It would have been lovely to see Justify win a classic, but it wasn't to be this year with Statuette. The next one, another no-name never to fall short, Little Big Bear. Another one who was already at stud, turned out to be a good sprinter for 27,500. Paddington at 55, Little Big Bear, 27,500, just what the world needs. Another sired by no-name never at stud. People look at his form, they'll see top class champion 2-year-old, rated above 120 when he won the Phoenix Stakes. But you'll see then at 3, I think they bottled it after the first start. It's beaten 24 lengths by Chaldean in the UK Guineas. And I think they bottled it then. They should have kept the horse at a mile, but they didn't. They dropped back to sprinting. To be fair to it, the horse did win a Group 2. It won the Sandy Lane Stakes, where it ran to a creditable mark of 116. Then they ran it in the Commonwealth Cup. It only ran to 111 when it was second behind Shaquille. And then it was last behind Shaquille in the July Cup of 2023. And then they backed themselves into a corner then. They finished last in the Guineas and last in a sprint. They couldn't race the horse again, could they? So they had to just lick their wounds and go to stud with it. I mean, why anybody would pay £27,500 for a horse that's finished last in a Group 1 in a Classic and last in the Commonwealth Cup? You've got a decent 2-year-old. As all this horse has shown no longevity. It hasn't trained on. The levels of it were worse at 2 than at 3 than it was at 2. But yet this horse is at stud. Incredible, the power that some people have to shape the breed of horse racing. It really is. I mean, they'd have to pay me to send a mare to it if I owned any. They really would. But the horse has won a Group 2. It's won Group 3, Group 1 and Group 2. Top class 2-year-old. Disappointing 3-year-old. Exposed over a mile and exposed over 6 furlongs. Tricky sale for me for a book filler at stud. Noble Style is the next one. Another one trained by the mighty, supposedly, Charlie Appleby. Sired by Kingman out of a dam called Eartha Kitt. I mean, how impossible was it not to have massive hopes for this horse when it won the Jim Crack in August 2022, running to a mark of 116. Again, I think these have bottled it even more than Coolmore have. The horse ran quite well in the Guineas, 6th out of 14 behind Chaldean, running to a mark of 107. They chose not to get a warm-up run into it anywhere. It was then 3rd behind Shaquille in the listed Carnarvon Stakes. It was 9th behind Shaquille in the Group 1 Commonwealth Cup. And then they did what they really could have done with Little Big Bear when it had been exposed over a mile and 6 furlongs and galled the horse. But they chose not to, Coolmore, whereas they did geld Noble Style and then its reward for that was 4th out of 6 in a Chester listed race. The Queensferry Stakes and a mark of 88. I mean, these people are portrayed as geniuses by the controlled media. And he has had a terrible season, Appleby, and they've not said anything about it. Nobody's even held him to account for it. Who knows why the form has dropped off him so drastically that it has. A massive season from Appleby next season, in my opinion, and Godolphin in the UK. This horse really is now a gelding, and an exposed one at that, really, on its gimcrack form. It's a good horse. That form was a long time ago now. People will pay their money and take their chance, I think, with noble style. The next one, number 6, we were very unlucky with commissioning. Unbeaten at 2, she had won the Group 1 Fillies Mile in October 2022, running to a mark of 112, and that would have been good enough to be placed. You saw Save the Last Dance went to 115, that one in Oaks. I mean, I think this one would have probably been the one in the Fillies Middle Distance Division this year, but unfortunately, before her 3-year-old season started, she sustained a race-ending injury. Connections thankfully did save her, so hopefully she will be a broodmare at some point. But yeah, I think we were very unlucky with commissioning in 2023. The next one, Coolmore side Galileo Group 1 2-year-old winner. You have to say we got this one wrong. Proud and Regal, another one that now I would love to go hurdling. Proud and Regal won the Group 1 2022 Grand Prix de Saint Cloud, running to a mark of 112. Was also placed behind Al Riffa in the National Stakes. It's not won a race this year. It's not even looked like winning a race. 3rd behind Spreewell in its trial debut. They then obviously had to run it in the Irish Derby. It was 7th in the Irish Guineas, 7th behind Paddington in the Coa. They then upped it up in trip, and it was 7th again behind Auguste Rodin in the Irish Derby, given every chance in a classic this and fell short twice. It was then 9th out of 13 behind Foniska in September in the Navigation Stakes at Cork. The horse has not come close to repeating its form at 2. Yeah, we got this one wrong, fair to say. I was hoping it'd be a lot better than this. Definitely disappointing. Disappointing horse. Could it redeem itself by winning the Triumph Hurdle? It's got 3 months to do it. Silver Knot are very closely related, these two, Proud and Regal, and Simply Not. Silver Knot. And again, the Charlie Appleby trained horse. We got this one wrong as well. Silver Knot has proven to be quite an average horse, which I was surprised. He won very well that day at Sandown in August when he won the Solario Stakes. I thought he looked at a horse of immense potential there. But again, in his last 2 starts after that, he only improved by 4 at 2, 113 when he won another Group 3, the Autumn Stakes, and then he was 2nd behind Victoria Road at Group 1 level in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Another one that ran in the Guineas, he was 11th, a 14 behind Chaldean. And then he reached his form 113 when he was 3rd out of 7. A horse mainly really then that was campaigned in America. Maybe they thought they'd slip him a few drugs, Lasix, to improve his performance. But since then, he hasn't been seen in Europe, really. He's raced the 3rd at Belmont in a Group 2, 3rd there in another Group 2. And he was Group 1 third placed in his last start in December in the Hollywood Derby, where that race hasn't been rated by the Racing Post. But the Group 2 at San Juanito in November has, before that, the Twilight Derby. He was 2nd in that as well, and rated 105. So he fell short with this one, really. It's also subsequently gelded halfway through the season as well. I like to see Classic Oaks gelded deer. There's no finer indicator that you've got it wrong than that. And I certainly got it wrong with Silver Knot on this occasion and its close relative. Proud and Regal, get in the Triumph Hurdle. Would this stay 2 miles in the Triumph Hurdle? I'm not sure. They never will anyway. But very disappointing horse, Silver Knot. Joint 4th they were with Proud and Regal. Now we're at the top 3. And I don't think we did too bad with these. Auguste Rodin we had as 3rd. A horse confirmed as staying in training at 4, which is fantastic to see. Winner of 7 of his 10 races. Group 1 winner at 2, went into a mark of 118 in the what will also always be the Racing Post Trophy to me. Even another one that was bombed in the Guineas, 12 out of 14, beaten 22 lengths by Chaldean, ran to a mark of 100, went into a mark of only 68, but then it nearly doubled that, went into a mark of 124 when it won the Epsom Derby, 120 when it won a very significantly weaker Irish Derby in July. It was then beaten to 127 lengths behind Hookham when the favourite for the King George against the older horses. It then beat the older horses when it beat Luxembourg. Oh no, does Luxembourg a 3-year-old this year? No, it wasn't. Of course it wasn't. I remember now. It's been so long ago, hasn't it? Luxembourg 2023 won the Irish Champion Stakes by half a length for Gus Rodin. And then it also won the Breeders' Cup in 2023, Santa Anita, when it won, according to the Racing Post, its joint career mark of 126, when it defeated up to the mark by 3/4 of a length. I mean, I'm sure this horse will hopefully take top order among the early older horse races this season. I don't know if it's entered in anything. No, a bit early yet. But this horse has been a complete success. Tahira is one that has sadly retired from racing already. But I think it will go down as the best 3-year-old filly of the season by some way. It was arguably the best 2-year-old filly of the season as well. It beat Meditate easily in the Moy Glass Stud Stakes last year, running to a mark of 119. It was second behind Morge in the UK Guineas when it ran to 117. It then managed to pick up 2 Group 1 victories. It won the Classic it needed to win when it won the Irish 1,000 Guineas, and it also won the Coronation Stakes with 2 runs of, again, only around 115 to take out these Group 1 miles. Her best run of the year was when she was rated 118, when she won the Justify Matron Stakes against the older fillies, when she defeated Road Millennium. And unfortunately, on her last start, she was defeated. 3rd of 11 behind Big Rock, beaten 6 1/4 lengths, where the Irish Classic form was destroyed with Paddington at last in that race. And Big Rock beaten by 6 lengths. So Tahira sadly retired, but I'm sure she'll make a fantastic broodmare. A horse that did her job, winner of the Irish Guineas, 5 of her 7 starts, and she was never out of the first 3. And she managed to win $1 million as well. Very good filly, and we wish her all the luck in the breeding shed. Number 1 is a horse that has to go down as a horse that's had arguably one of the most dramatic campaigns we've had all through the video. That, of course, is Tahira. Don't quite know what happened there. Forte, sired by Violence out of a dam called Queen Caroline. He was our only American entry in the top 15, and what a season the horse has had. $50,000 he will stand at stud in 2004. Already retired to stud. Top class 2-year-old winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He also won in October the Breeders' Futurity. And there's a top rating of 119. He then bounced back by winning the first start at 2 in March. He won the Fountain of Youth Stakes. And then he won his Group 1 at 3 when he won the Florida Derby, running to a joint career mark of 121. He was then stopped from running in the Kentucky Derby with the vet disqualified him. And then due to the proximity of the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont, he wasn't allowed to run in that either, because the horse would have had to have been a month off or something ridiculous like that. So the horse actually wasn't seen, and he received 1 classic try when he was unfortunately second behind Arcangelo in the Belmont, running to a mark of 120. He then landed another Group 2 in 2023. He won the Jim Dandy over a mile and 1 furlongs, before finishing 4th behind Arcangelo again in what was his worst run of the season, running to a mark of 108 at Saratoga in the Travers. I mean, this horse I think was very unlucky not to land a US Classic. I think the horse ran very well. It's fair to say that the horse did run well. Just realised that we've missed the American ones off this list, I think. There's been no American horses on the list, like Pretty Mischievous, who won the Kentucky Oaks for us. That's a shame. Must have deleted them accidentally off the list. But this was the number 1, definitely, Forte. It's a very good horse, without any shadow of a doubt. And will go to standing at $50,000. Can't remember what the other US-based horses were now. But yeah, we've missed them off it, so we'll best look at these quickly. Forte, there we go, was number 1. Confidence Game. Verifying. And Tell Me No Lies. And Pretty Mischievous. So let's just run all 5 of these through Equibase before we end the stream and see how we get on. We'll only look at the results quickly. Confidence Game. Look to only win the 1 race that I identified him. And we've got multiple tabs loading at the same time now, so everything is pretty much ground to a halt on the internet. Hopefully we won't have any dropped frames through this little bonus section. Confidence Game, if we take a look at the horse, finished 1st in the Group 2 Rebel Stakes, was 10th in the Kentucky Derby, and then beaten in a listed race, 2 listed races, and a claimer. So it's safe to say that I got that one spectacularly wrong with Confidence Game. The next one, Verifying. Has had a solid enough season. The horse I don't mind is I'm open-minded following this horse still. If they keep racing it. It was 2nd at 2 in a Group 1. This year it's run okay, I think. It was 4th in the Group 2 Rebel Stakes. It was 2nd in the Bluegrass. A disappointing run in the Kentucky Derby, 16th. But in the Matt Win, which was a race Maxfield won a good race, Group 3, it finished 2nd. And then it did win a Group 3. It won the Indiana Derby. And then it was 2nd in the H. Allen Jerkins Memorial, Group 1, before finishing 5th in the last race of the season at Keeneland. I mean, this is one I would be open-minded with, but the horse is looking a bit exposed. And Tell Me No Lies, another one, hasn't won a race this year. The Arrogate Sired filly. Safe to say we got this one wrong. It won the Debutant Stakes and the Chandelier Stakes at 2. But then was beaten in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, which was disappointing. It was 2nd in the Santa Anita Oaks. Disappointingly, would have loved it to win that day. But it didn't. It was 3rd in the Santa Isabel Stakes. And then it was 12th in the Group 1 at Kentucky Oaks. It's always been highly tried, but the horse secured another place in the San Clemente at 3. But the horse I don't think has been as good at 3 as she has at 2. And she never won a Classic. So this one has to go down as a failure on my part as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, the Into Mischief sired, Pretty Mischievous, superb filly. Kentucky Oaks Classic winner. It won the Rachel Alexandra Stakes, a Group 2 race. It was then beaten, unfortunately, in the Fairground Stakes, which wasn't ideal. But she bounced back in style to win the Kentucky Oaks, as well as the Acorn Stakes as well. 2 big races they are. If you look at the legacy site that I use, next time I present a video on using an individual horse, you'll see an A on some of these fillies, and that is the Acorn Stakes. So if that site has designated that race as an important race, then that's good enough for me. She was very lucky to win the Group 1 Test Stakes when the horse dropped down dead in front of her when leading. And then she was 2nd in the Group 1 Cotillion Stakes. at Parks Racing in what proved to be the last start of her career. 7 out of 10. This is probably her and Forte have flown the flag for the American horses on Classic Watch 2023. It's fair to say. The rest of them, they are what they are. But that is the end of this video now. Definitely apologies for that 10-minute bonus section. But it would have been very unfair if we hadn't looked at the American horses. I'm sure you will agree. But for now, I'm going to leave this video here, I think, now. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a long one, nearly 1 3/4 hours. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody, for supporting the channel and the stream. Plenty more content to come over the next coming months. Hopefully, Double Handful will be back with either Monica McCarthy looking at American racing or Steve Allpress looking at European. He's done the last 5 Cheltenham festivals for us, so hopefully Steve Allpress will be back with some Double Handful content as well. But I myself am hoping to be back sooner rather than later. We've got plenty to look at. We've got a few National Hunt Group ones to look at. I've got a couple of horses that I need to get on Classic Watch 2024. There's a Classic Watch 2024 top 10 or 15 needs to be done. So there's plenty that needs to be done. But for now, I'm going to leave this video here. Take care, everybody. Look after yourselves. May I wish you all a happy new year and look after yourselves. Goodbye.